as captives had their last ever bath before they were taken to the dungeons and shipped out of this land to the new world. But before the ancestors got to this place, they had already walked 400 miles to get here. Not all of them were captured from the coastal areas. They captured so many of them from the northern territories of Ghana. Across, we have so many slave markets here. A historian called Akosua Adomapebi, professor of the University of Ghana, Legon, in her book entitled The History of Indigenous Slavery in Ghana from the 15th century to the 19th century, she gave several details that many slave markets were used here in West Africa. From Benin to Gambia, Gold Coast, Ghana had about 63 of the slave markets. We have Salaga, Sampa, Janani, Ketekra, Chibono, Manso, Pechiman, Pikoro, Assin Manso, the dungeon at Cape Coast-Kumasi, Fort Amsterdam, all the way to the prison board dungeon in Osu, Accra, just to mention, but a few were being used as slave markets. There was a British historian, his name W.E. Ward, who was also traveling during the era of the slave trading. He kept a journal entitled The Short History of Gold Coast. He emphasized that all the slave markets that I've mentioned were all functional, but two of them were playing historical roles, Assin Manso and that of the Salaga slave market. The distance between the two slave markets is over 400 miles. That's a journey of over 653 kilometers. Our ancestors had to walk to cover the journey. Coming, they went to the nature reserve full of wild animals. Many of them were sacrificed to animals so that they could trade their way through the park. And then when they succeeded, they met a river called the Pra River, so huge and fast flowing. Our ancestors in those chains and shackles couldn't cross the river because they were chained, and they were also weak. They got drowned. Many of them who got drowned, they were buried just at the bank of the river. They got here so tired, hungry, dirty, and skinny. It was here that they saw the need for them to be fed. That way they could build them up to make them look good for the buyers to come here to pick. Whilst that was being done, they were shaving the men off. Those with their hairs and beards bushy were being shaved off with broken bottles and knives. After that was done, they went ahead, opened their mouth, counted their teeth, the number of teeth they have in there, helped them to put them into their various age groups, and they took them on a walk to the river. Let's walk to the river. When we come back, I'll tell you about the rest of it. You can see it looks like it doesn't flow, but it does flow. It flows gently. The other part of the river is also a different source, which is from a very far source, and it's been flowing. That's what we call the oxygen. It means something that could grab it. Our ancestors were not allowed. Currently, the river has gone down.
Yeah.
The level has reduced. It was way more than this. It get the place flooded entirely. So they never allowed our ancestors to that side because they were scared the river washed them away and they would lose their money. So then they brought them to this part, kept them here so that they would take their bath. In there, the ancestors were in chains and shackles. They couldn't even do anything. They tried to clean themselves up by helping each other. When I help you, you help whoever is close to you, then you get cleaned. But then when the people saw them, they thought they were trying to console each other, so they had to separate them. Cut the bamboos long enough with the help of the ichilis and use that as a form of brush on them, leaving the marks on their skins to tell the public that they are now properties. After that, they will pull them up here, line them up around this perimeter, allow them to get dry. After they got dry, they apply shea butter or palm kernel oil on them for them to look attractive, presentable for the buyers to come here to pick. Those buyers
come here and pick them.
Yes, they'll come here and pick them before walking them to the dungeon. And after that, those who were left in the chains were considered useless commodities, and every single person was killed in that chain of time. But then they were not killed. So then they left them here to rot. It was nature that had the place covered. We call it the bamboo slave dumping site. Today I shall not go down this way with you because you are not here for your last bath. The first bath of return is for the diasporan Africans who are returning back to the motherland. You go down there for you to walk into the river if you feel like doing that. You walk in there, put your feet in the water, you wash your hands, get the water touching some part of your body as a sign of cleansing. And then you taking your first bath of return. So that's what you go down there to do.
Flowing from there. The flow is just going here.
It goes all the way to the west. It goes all the way.
How far is the ocean?
That's about 55 to 60 miles from here.
And but keep the idea of Mufana, you hope for Nana, or you condemn self.
You're winning and I win on being.
What do you
Oh, yeah, then. Then you have a good